Lesson 5, Products. So pharma companies manufacture and sell products. Products are also referred to as brands or drugs. Products are assigned a national drug code, an NDC code, and that's assigned by the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. Products are placed into distinct buckets, market baskets, and groups based upon what conditions and or ailments that they're going to treat. Seasonality has a big impact on custom market baskets because sometimes a patient will take a product more during the summer months or during the winter months, and we'll get into some examples later on. Products are approved for promotion by the FDA for specific indications. So when a pharma company submits a product for approval to the Food and Drug Administration, it has to be submitted saying this product is going to be used by patients of this specific gender or age group to treat these specific conditions. Pharma sales data uses the following groupings for products. You have therapeutic class, market segmentation, and approved indications. A lot of the TC and market is interchangeable a lot of times with companies. It just depends upon how the pharma company wants to segment their products within their data groupings. Product designation. So there's mass market products versus specialty products. Mass market products are intended for a large audience of patients, and it's suffering from a common medical condition. So hypertension, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes. A lot of people are afflicted with these diseases. Specialty products address rare and or severe medical conditions in patients. In this case, cancer and hemophilia are two examples of that. Classification of mass market versus specialty products can vary from pharma companies, from company to company, but usually, again, mass market is for diseases or conditions that influence a large audience, and specialty products for a small audience. Many pharma companies now try to classify more of their products in the specialty market and take more time in educating the healthcare providers, HCPs, about the brand benefits. Here's a product example. So this product by a company is called Bestator, and it treats patients with hypertension, high blood pressure. The therapeutic class or market would be AHY, any hypertension, and then there's segments of the AHY market, like ARBs, calcium channel blocker, you have ARB, you have ACE, alpha blockers, beta blockers, etc. So even though there's a therapeutic class called antihypertension that is a bucket for products that are going to treat hypertension, there can be a lot of sub markets as well. And the reason is because not all patients are the same, and not all diseases or afflictions impact patients the same. So there's different ways that a product will go about combating this condition, and therefore they're grouped into those market segments for those reasons. Here's an example of the antihypertension product we talked about. So on the left side, you'll see like a breakdown of Bestator and its RX volume. Its a prescription volume is 24 units, and then you have the other AHY 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Those are meant to be competitor products, and you'll see over here on the right side is basically a pie chart detailing how things are broken out by product share. And the next example, we're going to have Bestator be a type 2 diabetes product, and it's going to be in the therapeutic class of diabetes, and we're going to have the market segments be injectable versus oral, or insulin versus not insulin. So here's two distinguished buckets within the diabetes market. Again, Bestator now on the left side, we're showing the volume, and we're going to go DIA 1 through 4 being competitors' diabetes products. And you'll see now on the right side with the pie chart how things are broken up that way with market share, relative market share based upon the volume. Next one is going to be an antifungal example, Bestator. This is going to be treating patients with a toenail fungus. Now we talked about seasonality. It turns out that this condition of having this toenail fungus, where your fungus turns your nails green on your toes, this product is taking a lot. These products are taking a lot more during the summertime, because during the summertime people are outside and their feet are exposed. In the winter months, when you're wearing socks and shoes, people tend to not treat this condition. So this is an example of a seasonal product. In this case, it's in the antifungal therapeutic class, And we have 3 breakdowns that we did here, AFG 1, 2, and 3. And what we're going to say with that is it's going to have all oral products, all topical products, and all products together. So as an example goes with this is an oral medication. So you have your foot fungus, you're going to take a pill, and this is the example of how it would look. There's 3 competitors out there, and this is their breakdown of the market. The next one is a topical, where you would actually have almost like nail polish. You're painting on a drug, you're painting on a product onto the nail to help cure the fungus. This is a topical view. So you have 4 products in the topical class, or market in this case, and that's their relative share on the right side of the pie chart. And now you want to see all of the products together. So you want to see, okay, even though there's an oral antifungal market and a topical antifungal market, let's see them all together. So I can see as a pharma company, is a topical product taking some of my market share away from my oral product? So this is a way where you can break things down based upon how you want to see them as a pharma company. So product promotion. Products are approved by the FDA for specific indications, as I mentioned before. These approvals are called on-label. So when you if you ever have the opportunity to look at a product label, and I'm not talking about the label on the bottle, although there is a label on the bottle, there's a much larger label that accompanies the products. You can look it up online for specific products to see what they are. But in that, it will give a lot of detail about everything that the product does. And some approved categories for being on label are age, gender, comorbidity, dosage, form, etc. Those are the things that are on label. So it gives the sales associates and the pharma company guidelines as to what is on label so that you don't accidentally promote the product off label. Now, the pharma company is aware what they submitted the product for specific indications and what it should be for, but oftentimes the education of the people within the pharma organization breaks down, and that can cause bad things to happen. Sales associates cannot promote a product off label. The legal penalties can be severe. There's been lawsuits of the tens of millions of dollars where pharma companies had to pay out penalties because of this practice, off-label promotion. An HCP, however, can write a prescription to patients that are off-label. So even if the patient doesn't fall into the bucket that's approved on the label, the HCP can still write a prescription for that patient. So here's the example. You have an IBS product for irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, and the product was approved for women over the age of 50 years old. Now, as a sales associate, I have a list of doctors to call on, my target list, which we'll get into on a later chapter. But on my list of targeted doctors, all those doctors should be in the category where they have patients who fall into that bucket, meaning women 50 years or older. I would not have a pediatrician on my list because as a sales associate, I don't want to go into a pediatrician's office and say, hey, write this product for your patients when the pediatrician's patients are children. That would be off-label. In addition, as a sales associate, I can't go into a general practitioner's office and say, hey, I know this product was only approved for women, but you could write it for your male patients as well. Both those are examples of off-label promotion, and they are both will lead to severe penalties. On the other hand, however, an HCP can write a prescription to a man who has IBS if he or she deems it's okay. So a patient comes in, doctor, I'm having problems. The doctor says, you have IBS. I have this great product for you. It's not approved for women, but I think you'll be okay to take it. That is totally fine if the HCP makes that independent decision, but a sales associate cannot promote to that product, to that HCP, a product in an off-label fashion. Drug formulary. A formulary is a list of products that are covered under a healthcare plan. They will include both branded and generic products, usually. Pharma companies want their brands to be included in these formularies because you want your drug to be available under a healthcare plan. If your brand is not included in the healthcare plan, a generic drug may be substituted for your brand or may not be written by the HCP at all. So going back to the last example, IBS, if you have a branded irritable bowel syndrome product, but it's not on formulary at a specific location, then the healthcare plan says you cannot write that to the patient. So we'll substitute a generic product in its place. Copays are the amount that the patient is required to contribute in addition to the amount that their healthcare payer is providing. We've all dealt with copays where you have a certain, either it's $25 or $20 for a generic, and normally it's $40 for a branded. A lot of plans have that much money. Copays are usually under $25, but can be much more expensive when dealing with a branded product. Healthcare plans will have formulary tiers. So a tier 1 is a low-cost generic. It's got a low copay. Tier 2 is a higher-end generic and branded products, medium copay. Tier 3 is a preferred brand. And also, if there's no generic available, it's a specialized drug. That could be a high copay. And Tier 4 is preferred brands and generics that are for specialty medical medications. These will have a high out-of-pocket expense for the patient. Tier 4 are normally for very rare diseases, serious and rare conditions. Black box warning. This is a warning placed on the packaging of the medication alerting the user of a serious side effect or extremely important information about the product. For example, don't take this with alcohol, as the picture shows on the bottom. Sometimes when a product is black boxed, it is pulled for distribution by the pharma company that produces it. This can happen because there was a side effect that was not previously discovered in the clinical trials. So if you have, for an example, with this a lower threshold for children, as an example, there was a product that treated eczema for children. It was not caught in clinical trials that it had a side effect, and the side effect was that it could cause skin cancer in the child as well. So obviously, at that point in time, the company pulled the product from the shelves because they don't want doctors prescribing that product if there was a side effect that was more severe than actually treating the condition that was there. That is the end of Lesson 5. There will now be a 10-question quiz that you'll take going over brands and products.